distinguished panelists, a warm greetings to you all. It is a great honor and a pleasure to participate in this important panel discussion on tapping into former President Nelson Mandela's leadership principles in the times of crisis. This event takes place as part of commemorating the birth of Dr. Madiba. Program Director, we meet at a time when South Africa and the world continue to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Since its arrival last year, we have learned so much about it and are emulating Madiba's spirit of resilience whilst dealing with it. We have moved from knowing very little about protecting ourselves from this dreaded virus to where we are today. Our medical experts have worked tirelessly to support government in putting measures to protect the nation. South Africans have heeded government's message to use non-pharmaceutical health interventions to protect themselves whilst awaiting a cure or a vaccine. According to researchers, over 90% of South Africans have heeded the call to prevent the potential surge in infections by wearing masks in public places, regularly washing their hands with soap and water, or using 70% alcohol-based hand sanitizer, maintaining safe social distances, and generally avoiding crowded gatherings. Today, we are proud to report that our vaccination program is gaining momentum, with over 6 million people vaccinated to date. This number is expected to increase significantly following the decision to open more vaccination sites and allow for the walk-ins across the country. In the past weeks, South Africa experienced unprecedented violent riots, which claimed several lives, damaged infrastructure, and adversely impacted our economy. Although calm and stability have returned, the irony of the riots is that they happened during a month when we were supposed to join the rest of the world in commemorating the birth and celebrating the legacy of Dr. Madiba. However, we have since bounced back as a nation that is united in our diversity to rebuild our beloved country. Program Director, Madiba was one of the struggle stalwarts who made immense personal sacrifices to ensure that South Africa becomes a non-racial, non-sexist, and united and prosperous society founded on the principles of justice, equality, and respect for human rights. His political activism saw him joining mass defiance and civil disobedience campaigns against the then apartheid regime. He also traveled widely across the country and to other African countries, and also to the United Kingdom to organize resistance against the apartheid government and secure support for the struggle for freedom. In 1962, he was arrested and sentenced to 5 years for leaving the country illegally, and in 1964, he was convicted of treason and sentenced to life in prison. His unwavering commitment to freedom and justice was demonstrated when he refused an offer for his conditional release after spending 22 years of incarceration. Madiba's resilience and perseverance are reflected in the fact that he spent 27 years in jail and did not compromise on his ideals of a democratic, non-racial, and non-sexist society. His release on the 11th of February 1990 brought a sense of hope that democracy would finally be realized in our nation. It was truly a turning point for our country as his release coincided with the unbanning of political parties, the return of those who were in exile, and the release of political prisoners. Our first democratic elections in April 1994 ushered in an era of building a democratic South Africa. President Mandela led with distinction despite the very difficult and delicate period in the history of our country. He was great, he was a great reconciliator and capable of calming the nation in perilous situations. Many will recall how Madiba strategically stepped in to address and pacify the nation after the assassination of South African Communist Party leader Chris Hani in April 1993. When South Africa was on the brink of political violence, in his address, I quote him, "We must not let the men who worship war and who lust after blood precipitate action that will plunge our country into another Angola," unquote. Program director, former President Mandela was an exceptional servant leader. He walked out of prison after 27 years with no bitterness except the desire to drive the political ideals that he went to prison for. Tatu Madiba was a visionary, as reflected in his Rivonia trial speech from the dock in 1964, which I would like to quote. "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and a free society in which all persons live together in harmony with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if need be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die," unquote. Tatu Madiba did his part as a leader. As we celebrate his life and legacy, we all need to recommit ourselves to what he stood for and what he fought for. As a public servant that is entrusted with creating the better society for all, I should execute my responsibilities with integrity and honesty to contribute towards a better South Africa. As members of society, we need to commit in building the societies we envisaged in our Constitution. To emulate the legacy of Nelson Mandela, we need to work together to build our economy so as to narrow the gap of inequalities, poverty, and unemployment in our society. As we continue to win the fight against the COVID-19, we commend the South Africans who came out in their numbers to condemn and prevent the destruction and looting witnessed in the past 2 weeks. Many people are voluntarily participating in cleaning up campaigns, which makes us proud as South Africans. Those who wanted to destroy the legacy of Tatu Madiba and other struggle stalwarts did not succeed. Those who seek to divide the nation that Madiba had and other struggle stalwarts sacrificed their lives for to unite will fail dismally. South Africans will continue to work for a united, non-racial, and non-sexist society. Each time we stumble, we will rise and rise again. I thank you.